first home super saver scheme. This is fantastic if you're looking at buying in a year plus away. You could save up to $15,000 a year pre-tax and withdraw up to $50,000 from your super towards your deposit. You need to make specific contributions to the first home super saver scheme. You can't just access your super fund, so you need to start now if you're looking at buying a place in the next few years. There's also the 5% deposit path. With schemes like the home guarantee scheme and LMI waivers, if you're a nurse, for example, means you can buy with just a 5% deposit minimum to help you get into the property quicker. So on a $540,000 property, you only need $27,000 down instead of the usual $108,000. There's also a credit makeover. If you've got credit cards you're not using, have a chat to a broker and see if closing them can increase your capacity. You can look at your HEX, potentially if you only owe a little bit on your HEX, it could be worth looking at closing that to help increase your capacity. Things like novated leases absolutely shred your borrowing capacity. So if you're thinking about getting an electric car because of all the tax advantages, chat to your broker first because that can potentially reduce your borrowing capacity by hundreds of thousands of dollars. The other thing you can do, which might not be the nicest thing to do, but it's possible, is increasing your income. If you're a shift worker, you can take on extra shift penalties, do overtime, or look at getting a second job. If you're working your primary job, say 30 hours a week, and you get a second job, some banks will want you to hold that second job for at least 6 months to accept the income, just to make sure it's manageable. So keep that in mind. You can't just go out, apply for a second job, apply for the loan next day. They generally want you to have held it for a little bit just to make sure you're not burning the candle at both ends. Also keep in mind there's different approaches to do that. You can look at that rent vesting strategy. So potentially if you're living in Sydney and you can only afford a $300,000 home, then it's a perfect opportunity to look at an investment property, maybe regionally, at something you can afford, or keep saving until you can get into the market.